Do you love to watch Elias Pettersson dominate the ice and score some of the most impressive goals in franchise history? Well, you're in for a treat, because today we're going to discuss the question on every fan's mind. Can Pettersson score more than Henrik, Sedin and Pavel Bure? But first, are you a Canucks fan? Show your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more content like this. In the 2022-23 season, Pettersson proved himself to be the team's most valuable player with a remarkable 39 goals, 63 assists, and 102 points in just 80 games. These numbers are so exceptional that they can only be understood in a historical context. In fact, only 5 other Canucks have ever achieved 100-plus points in a single season. So where does Pettersson rank among these legendary players? If we're just looking at total points, he's at the bottom of the list, with Henrik Sedin in first place with 112 points. However, when we consider games played and points per game, Pettersson climbs 2 places up the list with his 1.28 points per game, just barely edging out Daniel Sedin and Naslund's 1.27 points per game. Want to find out how the scoring rates have changed over time? Of course, scoring rates fluctuate over time, and the league goes through highs and lulls, so we need to consider how the scoring rates have changed over time. The average goals per game for an NHL team in 2022-23 was 3.18, which is right in the middle of the pack for seasons in which a Canuck scored 100 points. This means that Pettersson was probably boosted by a league-wide uptick in scoring, but not as much as Bure was back in the mid-90s. Another way to measure the impressiveness of any given 100-plus point season is to look at how many other NHL players achieved that same feat in the same year. When Bure put up those big numbers in 1992-93, he was one of 20 players to crack the century mark, and only finished 13th in NHL scoring. Compare that with Henrik, who led the league in scoring in 2009-10, with no other player reaching 100 points. In 2022-23, 9 other players achieved 100-plus points, putting Pettersson in a tie for 10th place in the league. Let us know in the comments if you think Pettersson can surpass Sedin and Bure's records. Which Canucks legend do you think Pettersson resembles the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. So, can Pettersson score more than Henrik Sedin and Pavel Bure? Predicting future performance in sports is always a difficult task, as there are many factors that can influence an athlete's performance, such as injuries, team dynamics, and changes in the game itself. However, based on his current trajectory, it's possible that Elias Pettersson could surpass the mark of 112 points in a season, and I'll tell you how. In his rookie season, he tallied 66 points in 71 games, and followed that up with 66 points in 68 games in his second season. Assuming he continues to improve and stay healthy, it's not out of the question that Pettersson could reach the 112-point mark in a season within the next few years. One way Pettersson could achieve this milestone is by increasing his goal-scoring output. In his first 2 seasons, he scored 30 and 27 goals. If he were to become a more consistent goal scorer and pot 40 or more goals in a season, it could propel him to the 112-point mark. Another way Pettersson could achieve this milestone is by increasing his assist totals. He's already shown himself to be a gifted playmaker, with 66 and 47 assists in his first 2 seasons. If he were to continue to develop his vision and playmaking abilities, it's not out of the question for him to tally 70 or more assists in a season, which would also put him in range of the 112-point mark. Pavel Bure was the first Vancouver Canucks player to hit the 100-point mark in a season, achieving the feat in the 1992-93 season. He was 22 years old at the time. Henrik Sedin hit the 100-point mark for the first time in the 2009-10 season, when he was 29 years old. He achieved the milestone in his 9th NHL season. Elias Pettersson hit the 100-point mark for the first time in the 2022-23 season, when he was 24 years old. He achieved the milestone in his 3rd NHL season. As you can see, Pavel Bure was the youngest player to reach 100 points in a season, achieving the milestone at just 22 years old. It's worth noting that the NHL has become a more defensive-minded league over the years, with fewer high-scoring seasons, so it's harder for players to hit the 100-point mark than it was in the past. It's certainly possible, but it's going to take a lot of hard work and determination. With his incredible talent and work ethic, though, we wouldn't bet against him. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more Canucks content. Stay tuned for our next video and don't forget to click on the recommended video for more Canucks content.